There are families where nothing is ever said directly, yet everything is communicated with perfect clarity. When Daniel received his sister's text about dinner, he hesitated longer than he wanted to admit. "Just something small," she had written. "The kids miss you." That last sentence carried a weight it didn't deserve. Children were often used as softening devices in their family, emotional cushioning for sharper edges. Still, he went. The restaurant was one of those places designed to feel important without being ostentatious. Soft lighting, polished wood, the quiet choreography of servers moving like they were part of the DA Corps. Daniel arrived with his son Liam, whose excitement had none of Daniel's caution. Inside, his sister was already there with her husband and their 2 children. The host smiled, guiding them toward a corner table where 4 menus waited like placeholders for a decision already made. "There's only room for 4," his sister said lightly, as if commenting on the weather. The words landed gently, but they didn't feel gentle. Her children slid into their seats without hesitation. Her husband gave Daniel a polite nod, the kind used for acquaintances rather than brothers-in-law. "You should have called ahead," he added. Daniel felt Liam's small hand tighten around his. For a moment, brief but vivid, Daniel imagined responding, not angrily, just honestly. But honesty in his family rarely produced clarity, it produced friction, reinterpretation fatigue. So he nodded. "Got it." No accusation. No visible discomfort. Just acceptance delivered with the same neutrality as the original dismissal. He guided Liam away from the table before the boy could fully process what had happened. "Dad?" Liam asked quietly. Daniel crouched beside him. "Let's stretch our legs for a minute." They moved through the dining room, past conversations and clinking glasses, until Daniel stopped near the reception stand. The manager, a woman with the alert composure of someone trained to read rooms quickly, offered a professional smile. "Everything all right, sir?" Daniel returned the smile. "Yes. Actually, I had a quick question." Their conversation was unremarkable to anyone watching. No tension. No hushed intensity. Just 2 adults discussing arrangements in calm, practical tones. When Daniel rejoined his sister's table 10 minutes later, he did not sit. He stood beside Liam, who now looked more curious than confused. "We'll just grab something ourselves," Daniel said evenly. His sister's expression flickered, relief, perhaps, mixed with something harder to identify. "Oh, okay." No apology, no reconsideration. Daniel and Liam were seated across the room at a smaller table, not dramatically distant, but socially separate. Close enough to see, far enough to redefine. Something subtle shifted once Daniel relaxed into the chair. Removed from the quiet negotiation of belonging, his posture changed. He laughed easily at Liam's observations. He spoke without that faint restraint he rarely noticed until it lifted. From across the room, his sister watched. Not openly. Just occasionally. Dinner progressed with the comfortable rhythm of restaurant time. Plates arrived. Glasses emptied. Conversations ebbed. At Daniel's table, dessert came with uncomplicated pleasure, a shared indulgence, Liam's delight unconcerned with adult undercurrents. At his sister's table, dessert arrived differently. A server placed the leather folder beside her husband. He opened it casually. Then paused. Brows pulled together. Eyes scanning once, then again. "There must be a mistake," he said, his voice low but edged. The server maintained her practiced calm. "No mistake, sir." Daniel's sister leaned closer. Her expression changed in stages, confusion, disbelief, a creeping awareness that carried color from her face. Across the room, Daniel saw none of the numbers. He didn't need to. Only the silence. The manager approached their table with measured professionalism. "As noted during the reservation, the booking was made under your name," she explained gently. "The private dining minimum applies." Daniel's sister stared at her. "But we didn't. The reservation was secured earlier this week." The manager continued, tone steady, neutral. "Policies were confirmed at that time." A pause. Understanding settled not as revelation but as recollection. Days earlier, his sister had called Daniel. Can I use your membership for the booking? It's easier that way. A small favor. Casual. Unimportant. He had agreed without suspicion. Now consequence unfolded without spectacle. No raised voices. No dramatic confrontation. Just institutional reality asserting itself with quiet authority. From his table, Daniel did not smile. He did not look triumphant. He simply watched the familiar discomfort of accountability, that rare condition where interpretation could not soften impact. Liam, oblivious to the financial gravity, nudged his father. "Dad, can we come here again?" Daniel glanced at his son, then back toward his sister's table, where tension hung thick and wordless. "Yes," he said calmly. "I think we can." His sister's eyes met his across the room. There was no fury there, only something far more complicated. Recognition. And the uneasy space where certainty used to live.